Welcome to the Invested Dads Podcast, simplifying financial topics so that you can take action and make your financial situation better. Helping you to understand the current world of financial planning and investments, here are your hosts, Josh Robb and Austin Wilson.
All right. Hey. Welcome back to Invested Dads Podcast, a podcast where we take you on a journey to better your financial future. Today, Josh, you can feel it. Love is in the air.
That's right. Today we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day, and it's a chance to remind all single people how much money they get to save throughout the year.
I mean, seriously, when we start going through a couple numbers that we have in here,
yeah,
you're gonna be thankful you're single.
Yes, that's right. I thought, it's February, the shortest month of the year.
True,
the love month.
Is that why? I mean, it's the shortest month of the year.
I think it's breaking up the slowness of the winter with something exciting to look forward to.
So with all of the, astronomy, rotation of the Earth, really smart people, much smarter than me, figured all of this out a long time ago. Who was like, wait, we're a couple extra too many days. We need February, you're going to get shorted.
And it's crazy because you have some months with 31 days,
right?
Some months with 30. You could take a couple of those 31 days, add it to February, and make it a 30.
Nope. 28.
Can't do that. Got to do
28 days.
And, obviously they were rotating around seasons more than anything and trying to fit in those calendar months within the seasons. And so spring shows up, you don't want to overlap.
I mean, and it's such an American, I don't know if it's it's not Americans that developed the 12-month calendar, but we do everything in 12s, feet, all of those things. They don't make sense.
Horrible. Don't get me on that.
Why didn't we do 10s?
I would go metric. I would go metric in a heartbeat.
I don't want to have to relearn it, but metric makes a million times more sense.
It's a decimal system.
I know.
In groups of
we use it for our money. Why don't we use it for everything else?
Nice.
Anyway, so yes, Valentine's Day.
One thing I love.
One thing you love. We're not there yet. So let's talk about some statistics about Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So Balancing Everything had an article, and we'll link that in the show notes, but they gave us a couple statistics to think about. So you ready?
I'm ready.
This is some big numbers. Last year, so I don't know if this would have been this was probably 2019, probably not 2020.
No, this was 2020.
Okay, 2020. Last year, so 2020, 27.4 billion with a B was spent for Valentine's Day. 5.8 of that billion was on jewelry. That is some serious coin.
That is a lot of necklaces.
That's a lot of necklie?
How do you pluralize that?
Necklaces? I don't know. So anyway, $27.4 billion. Almost $6 billion on jewelry alone. That's a lot of money. And so how does that go down on a per-person basis?
Yeah, so the average spent, so just
straight average.
Average is $196.31 was spent.
Okay.
All right. So then when we break it down, though, men in 2020, average,
this gets me,
spent $291.15. Now, if you know anything about averages, if that number's high, guess what? The other side's got to be low. The average in the middle. All right. So women spent $106.22.
So men love their wives more than wives love their husbands on a financial basis.
It's hard to say.
I'm not going to say that.
It's hard to say.
I'm going to say that. The numbers are very different.
The way each other shows love is different.
Right.
One may be more monetary.
I mean, almost $300 to 1, essentially. 300 to 100.
Yep.
3x almost.
Yep.
That is a pretty big difference. And Jenna, babe, if you're listening, sorry. I don't think I probably spent even 106, but I love you anyway.
Mm-hmm. As we were looking at this, I was reading a couple other articles, and I think it was CNBC or CBS. Somebody had an article, and they were talking about the expectation versus the spending.
Oh, yeah?
And there was kind of this level of what they expected to be spent and how they would be upset. But the article noted that if they spent too much, it was also kind of a
bad thing.
Yeah, they would be
like
offended by it.
Yeah,
there's this kind of this happy, if you threw down $1,000 for Valentine's Day,
it didn't get you extra points.
Kind of what did you do that I don't know about that you're really trying to make up for? So it was just interesting. But the expectation actually was a little higher than the average.
Really?
And so people are falling just short of what the expectation is, apparently.
We're an underwhelming people in general.
The other thing that's interested, so that's in these surveys that they did, the most likely person you're spending Valentine's money on is the significant other.
True.
Then it's like, well, who else is out there, right? Who's it?
That's all I
the
can
secret
think of.
boyfriend, girlfriend? No, it's family. So, parents, kids, those
Get
type
your
of things.
parents Valentines.
I'm just telling you. So they surveyed, right?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing.
Sorry, Mom.
The
and
number
Dad.
3 one, or the one of the other ones that made the list statistically, would be spending Valentine's money for your kids' school Valentine stuff. So if you think to that, they got to buy those little things that they put in everybody's boxes.
Oh, yeah.
So that adds up, and that's also why when you think about there's other spending besides just your significant other. Now we did in that same blog article, 27% of the people they surveyed said they were planning on buying a gift for their pet
for Valentine's Day.
for Valentine's Day.
I have 2 dogs.
Yes.
I can honestly say I've given them Christmas gifts over the years, mostly before we had kids.
Yeah.
Those were our kids, but now no, that doesn't even happen. So
We have a dog, and this is the first year he was with us for Christmas. He got a gift, but it was a distraction gift so that he could chew on a bone while we were
doing
our
gifts.
Christmas stuff,
Yeah.
right? So, he got something out of it. But I don't think we've ever got anything for Valentine's Day for our pet. But, let's say maybe you are a single person and you want to participate. Maybe that's your special something that you want to do.
I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat, people. Y'all enjoy yourself. Another interesting statistic that I found was in 2019, 224 million roses were sold. That's a lot of roses.
That's a lot of roses.
That's a lot of flowers. I'm just trying to visualize how many rooms would 224 million roses take up? Gyms,
That's
many
a lot
gymnasiums.
Yes.
That's a lot of
thorns.
flowers. Imagine those if you're allergic to flowers. Oh, man. We're going crazy. So a dozen roses in 2019 cost an average of $97.22.
That seems like a lot of money for 12 flowers.
I'm going to
be honest with you. I don't think I would pay $100 for roses.
So
I'm just not going to do it.
I'm doing this math live on my phone.
He's typing it in.
So that
iPhone
is
2.
That is 18,666,667 dozen roses.
Okay.
Times 97.22. So that is $1.8 billion in just roses alone.
Yep. And then you add that to the jewelry because they got to go together. So there's your 5.8, 1.8. That's 7.6.
I mean, if you think about it, if you spent $97 on roses and then another $200 on jewelry, you're done. You got your $291, and you've got maybe that's the sweet spot for your happy wife.
Well, so I mean, if you do think about it, you don't get guys don't get flowers, right? I don't get flowers.
When I'm in weddings, I get a flower.
You get a little.
That's it.
Yeah,
they will stain your shirt.
Boutonniere, by the way. But in general, that's not a gift that guys get, flowers. So there's $100. So if you go from $291 to 200,
you're only
roughly,
double.
Yeah, you're and then in this, men usually are the ones paying for the dinner. So
does that go in
chunk
that?
of there? This is the total spending that includes eating out. So it's not. I don't think it's as far.
Okay.
It's stretched out between the two, because they part of the surveys of some ones I was reading is when they asked, well, what do you plan on doing? Eating out was the top one.
I mean, you go to a nice steakhouse, you'll drop $100 and some bucks easy on dinner. So
then you're right there.
You're right.
Maybe
there.
guys actually spend less. If you take flowers and food out,
half the food's for us anyway.
It's good.
Wow, those are some interesting statistics. I cannot say statistics this week, Josh.
It's a hard word.
It's like it's like when we were talking about GameStop stock. Yes. Ooh, I did it right.
Did it. GameStop.
Check out that episode if you're still watching the news and that's still going crazy because crazy that just came out. But anyway, that is some statistics. Let's talk about things.
One more thing.
Oh, this is not.
It's not
planned.
in there, but you ready? 2020 Valentine's Day, February 14th.
Yeah.
If you think about it, that was
pre-COVID.
pre-COVID, but I mean, COVID was in the news, but it wasn't in lockdown quite yet. That spending was up 33% from the year before.
33% in a year?
In a year.
Wow.
And so I think maybe people kind of were like getting a little worried and spent some money on going out. I'm not sure, but I saw that and they're anticipating the spending going back down to
pre-COVID levels.
Yeah. Well, even below, I think, probably.
Yeah. Wow.
But maybe there's a lot of pent up, like, I need to get something.
That's a lot of money.
So it's just something crazy.
So, yes, all statistics aside, let's talk about some things that Josh and I love. Because love. February 14th, Valentine's Day. This is coming out that week. What are some things we love in the finance world? What are some things we love outside the finance world? I'm going to start us off. Josh, I love automated savings.
Automated savings.
Really automated everything in finance when it comes to your finances. Automated bill pay, automated savings, automated investments.
Yep.
I like the ability in 2021 and, even a little bit before to just set things up. It happens every month.
It's so nice.
I don't think about it, and I never miss a payment, and I always am contributing to the things I want to contribute to meet my goals. That's something that I love. Josh, what's something you love?
The one thing I love is compound interest.
Ooh, was that your first love?
Now, true story. At first, it wasn't a big love, but every day it just grew more and more in love. And I just feel like I'm more in love now than I ever have been, and it just continues to grow exponentially. Man. That love I have for compound interest.
That is so cheesy.
Yeah, I know.
But really, though,
I do love dad jokes.
Yeah.
And I got one for you.
Ooh. Yes. For Valentine's Day?
Yes.
Thank you.
And since we're talking about relationships, we got our relationship.
Yeah.
But I have a relationship with my recliner.
Yeah.
We go way back.
That's funny. Okay, so Valentine's Day story, taking y'all on a sidebar. So Valentine's Day, this is before Josh and I met. Valentine's Day 2015. 2015. So my wife and I were dating, and we went out to dinner for Valentine's Day, and hey, back then I was probably really good, and I was probably spending above average and, making people happy.
Yep.
Back then. So we went out to dinner, and then we're like hanging out for the evening, and she's like, it was like, hey, let's watch a movie or do something. She's like, wait, that's it? And we'd been dating for like 9 months or something like that. She's like, that's it? Like, that's all we're going to do tonight? She was expecting that I was going to propose on Valentine's Day. And I was like, babe, no, like, I'm not going to propose on Valentine's Day. That would be the most cliche thing ever. Yes. Who would have planned that?
We're not cliche.
So then she cried because I didn't propose. Really wanted me to. I was going to anyway. I just was working towards it. Not on Valentine's Day. So I ended up proposing a couple weeks later after her dad and I had lunch. And he reluctantly, no, I'm just kidding. He was very gracious and when I asked for their blessing. But anyway, so that was my most memorable Valentine's Day story was when I didn't propose.
You did not propose, and the expectation was maybe
exactly
you should have.
Exactly, it was good. Okay, so another thing I love.
Yes,
I love bull markets.
Bull markets.
So let's just be very high level.
Yes.
Let's just say that bull markets, the stock market, it's going up.
Yep.
It's going up, and it's in a nice upward trend. We're gonna say.
Yes.
I like that. It's a good feeling.
It feels good.
When you see your accounts, things are going in the right direction. It's a happy thing.
Yep.
And I love bull markets.
Who doesn't? I mean, seriously. Along with that, and I know you and I, we both have this kind of on our list, is debt-free.
Yeah.
Right? And there's all different levels, and, I'm not debt-free. I have a mortgage still on my house, but when it comes to personal debt and, like, consumer spending debt, to be free of that is huge.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm with you. And I had the same exact thing on my list because it's something that I love. And it's something that anyone can get to.
It's attainable.
It's a goal that if you want to make that your goal, you can work towards that. So we love that side of things. I love low mortgage rates. Right now, we're coming out of, hopefully getting towards the end of COVID. Interest rates have been low for a while.
Yep.
Mortgage rates have gotten really low. It's a good time to have a mortgage. If you're going to have some debt, as we just talked about, a mortgage is a very affordable thing to have right now.
Yes, it is definitely. On a more personal side, role models. I love being able to not only have role models that help you with guiding you, but being able to learn and grow from them is just huge. And, there's different ones for personal family, but from a business standpoint, there's some pretty cool role models out there. And, like we've talked about, like Warren Buffett is one where from a personal standpoint, I don't really know him,
right.
but from an investment standpoint, he kind of set this standard of this buy, hold, look at the underlying values. Like he set some pretty good standards and to be able to see him while he's still working, not just read about it in a book, but be able to watch and observe.
Yep.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
I thought, I don't know if this is even a thing, but when you said role models, I immediately thought of like a plastic recreation of a roll that's meant to like say, I want that, in the window at the store, like a role model.
When I go to Texas Roadhouse,
I would like one of those. Well, in Japan, like there's like fake food like on a plate glued to it. You say that's what you want. It's like a real thing. No, like they're in displays and stuff. It's or pictures of fake. It's so much more visual. Okay. It's very interesting.
Very visual.
Another thing I love is my warm home. I love a warm home. I feel like we finally got winter. It's it's February now. We finally got winter. Snow on the ground, and it's cold as crap. And having a warm home is something that is definitely it's good to love.
Yes, and you do realize if your furnace ever goes out, how cold it can get and how fast it can get cold.
So we have a Nest thermostat in our house, and we got it we don't even have air conditioning. It's an old house, but we have a Nest because there was like a double rebate where like the gas company gave us like $75 rebate and the electric company gave us like a $75 rebate, both. And so it was $9 or something like that. So anyway, we have a Nest thermostat. It's great. So it's like, hey, do you want to try this money saving method thing? I'm like, cool, let's give it a shot. Well, pretty much what it does is every night it drops a degree until you get mad at it and
like,
tell you're cold.
There's your limit.
So like there were multiple nights where my wife's like, my toes are frozen. Like I can't do this. And like I didn't realize it had gotten down to where it was, but it was like 63 degrees at night.
Oh man, that's cold.
We usually keep it at like 65, which is cool, but we have lots of blankets. It's fine. 63 is too cold. So anyway, that's my Nest sidebar.
Hilarious.
Lots of sidebars this week. Josh, what's something else you love?
I love being able to get paid for doing what I love.
Yeah.
And so, having a job like this and helping people is just so satisfying. So that's one thing I love is having that opportunity.
I love that you love that because we work together.
Yes.
I love having a full belly, and it's growing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been eating a lot lately. I feel like this winter's not been great for me, but
it's insulation.
It is. That's what I'm going with. Keep my house cold so I can keep my belly full.
That's right.
But it's just we're obviously very, very blessed here, especially in the United States, with an abundance of food and resources. And I love having a full belly, and I love to eat.
Speaking of eating, I love donuts.
Ooh, yes, you do.
Not a stretch in any way, shape, or form of my love and passion for donuts. So that made the list for sure for me.
I love our listeners. And so now, there's a year and a month or so under our belts. So thank you guys for being here every single week. But we love you, and we are excited to keep this thing going.
Yep. And that follows along, and I know you have it too, as family. And so, we think you guys as family. This has been something that, a year ago when we just started talking about it, we're so thankful, and we love you guys so much for listening, tuning in, and sharing with other people these podcasts.
So yeah, it's Valentine's time. We're thinking about love. There's a lot of things that we love, and but like Josh said, we love you guys listening. Just as a reminder that on our website, check out A Free Gift to You. It's a brief list of 8 principles of timeless investing. They're overarching investment themes meant to keep you on track to meet your long-term goals. Hey, you might like it. You might love it. Check it out. It's free on our website. Josh, how can people help us grow this podcast?
If you love this podcast, then subscribe, and you'll get a free alert every time we drop an episode, which is Thursdays. And then review us on Apple Podcasts. If you have any suggestions or topics, or just want to tell us what you love, send us an email, hello@theinvesteddads.com. And again, share this with your close friends and family. All your loved ones need to hear this episode.
All right. Well, until next Thursday, have a good week.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Invested Dads podcast. This episode has ended, but your journey towards a better financial future doesn't have to. Head over to theinvesteddads.com to access all the links and resources mentioned in today's show. If you enjoyed this episode and we had a positive impact on your life, leave us a review, click subscribe, and don't miss the next episode. Josh Robb and Austin Wilson work for Hicks & Zerker Capital Management. All opinions expressed by Josh, Austin, or any podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Hicks & Zerker Capital Management. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Clients of Hicks & Zerker Capital Management may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast. There is no guarantee that the statements, opinions, or forecasts provided herein will prove to be correct. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Indices are not available for direct investment. Any investor who attempts to mimic the performance of an index would incur fees and expenses which would reduce returns. Securities investing involves risk, including the potential for loss of principal. There is no assurance that any investment plan or strategy will be successful.